We take a closer look at the Hornets and Knicks in the second half of a home and home as we welcome in Stephanie Ready, joins us from Fox Sports Southeast. Stephanie, appreciate this. How are you?
My pleasure. I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Happy Thanksgiving to you. And I know the team would be better suited being healthy. So give us a sense, if you can, the latest on Nick Batum and the eye situation, and then obviously the knee with Marvin.
Yes, it's really unfortunate. Nick Batum is doubtful. We still haven't gotten the official word as of yet. If I had to guess, I would say he's probably not going to play. It's a vision issue with him. When he got scratched yesterday, his vision was blurred, and I don't believe that it's back yet. So that's really unfortunate. And for Marvin Williams, he did have an MRI today. They discovered that he had a bone bruise along with that hyperextension of that left knee, so he is out for sure. And they say that he will be reevaluated in 1 week. So that's bad news for us too, because that means he's out at least a week. So 2 starters down.
Stephanie, Sam Mitchell here. How you doing?
Great, Coach. How are you?
Hey, when you look at this Charlotte team, and you don't think of them as an offensive juggernaut, but they're 10th in the league in scoring, led by Kemba Walker. Talk about Kemba Walker and how good he's playing right now. It seems like every year this young man is just getting better and better.
That's the reason why they love him at this organization and the fan base here in the Carolinas, because he works so hard in the offseason. He's one of those players that he is really good and he's naturally gifted, but during the offseason he studies film on himself. He studies film on how the opponents are playing him defensively so he can try to exploit those different looks. And the knock on Kemba since before he became an NBA professional was that his jump shot was questionable at best. He was always very fast, very good with his ball handling. He could always pass the basketball, but because his outside shot was below average, defenses could play him a certain way. And as you know, at the NBA level, that pick and roll game for the point guard is extremely important. And if you're limiting yourself because you can't shoot the consistent 3-ball, it limits your teammates as well. So he really worked hard at it, and this is his best year so far. He's shooting tremendous from behind the arc, and he's making defenses play. If they go under that screen, he is lighting them up, and in turn, that opens up his teammates, and now he has more weapons than he's ever had before.
Steph, it's Mike Fratello. Looking at the team and the start that they've gotten off to, I'm a little bit surprised. You lose 3 key pieces to me. Your starting 2 guard in Lee last year, Jefferson, low post scoring, and then Lynn coming in off the bench, providing a lot of punch for the team. But you make some nice pickups. You get Bellinelli, you come in with Hibbert, take a chance on him, and all of a sudden this team, from the beginning of the season, I understand we're like 14, 15 games in right now, but they're a playoff team as you look at it. I was a little surprised.
A lot of people were surprised, Coach. And in the offseason, I talked a little bit about how I thought this team would be better than they were last year. Yes, they lost some key pieces, but as you mentioned, they took a chance on Roy Hibbert. And I felt like Hibbert had something to prove to himself and to the rest of the league. He was an all-star prior to his down seasons, and I think he thought he could get back there. Obviously, Charlotte thought he could get close to that level of play. That's why they felt confident in bringing him in. And Courtney Lee, I think, was a bigger loss than a lot of people thought. A lot of people were focused on the loss of Jeremy Lin and Al Jefferson, and yes, those were 2 big losses, but Courtney Lee was such a smart, clutch performer and we saw that last night when he played with the Knicks, that I knew would be something that they would miss. But, players got better in the offseason. Players got healthy, even though now they're not healthy. But look at Cody Zeller and how much he's improved from year to year. And this year he's playing tremendous. I think Bellinelli has been a tremendous asset for this Hornets team because he is a much better passer and ball handler than I think they give him credit for around the league. We always knew he could shoot and score, but he makes great decisions. And I think the intelligence level of this Charlotte Hornets team is really what puts them above everybody else.
You talk about Bellinelli, big reason, Stephanie, why we got to an overtime last night. But Melo, a big reason why the Knicks won it. Do you expect in the second half of a back-to-back any kind of a change, more double teaming perhaps on defense coming off of what happened last night?
I think with Melo, you're going to always have to show him different looks. He's such a skilled player. He can do so many things. He's smart. He's a terrific passer. And now, we talked about this on the air last night, he has more weapons around him. So he is a much more willing passer because of that. He's a tough guard. I mean, let's just face it, there's really not much you can do. But try to make him as uncomfortable as you can. And yes, to answer your question, I think you will see some more double teams tonight.
Steph, looking back at last night's game, they played so well, could have easily won that game. A couple areas that jumped out. They didn't shoot the 3-ball well last night, but dominated points in the paint last night, which is a key thing for them. And then their fast break points, 12-2 advantage for Charlotte. So now you come back home. The one thing, can they control Carmelo Anthony, or might they double team a little bit earlier tonight, try to get the ball out of his hands?
I think they will. I think they'll try to make him work hard. He likes to post up, especially when he has smaller defenders on him. I think they're going to make him work really hard, not just to score, but to get the ball. I think you'll see that. And I think what they're going to have to do is try to limit the Knicks' possessions. They did not do very well on the boards against them last night, and that is going to be a point of emphasis tonight. And I think, again, with Carmelo, it's difficult because he can do so many things, but it's going to take a team effort. It's going to take discipline and organization and communication on the defensive end to try to at least contain him.
Well, after last night, we look for an entertaining finish to this series. Appreciate it, Stephanie. Thanks so much for the time.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks a lot.